Hey, what is up everybody, Bladecifer here, and today I have for you guys another video of Black Clover Mobile. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about one of you guys' lucky account here that we're going to actually be doing a little bit of an account review. Now, if you guys are inside of my Discord, I ended up doing a very nice announcement out there saying pretty much if anyone in the Discord wanted their account reviewed, be sure to let me know and do the following things of putting it inside of the account review chat. And I'll be picking two lucky people, one of them that we're going to be going over today, as well as one of them we're going to be going over the first of the month, of next month at least. So you guys ended up doing that, and we have a few, at least one good looking account here, or account that does need a little bit of help here, and we're going to be helping them out quite a lot and checking out what they got. So if you guys are interested in more things like this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And of course, if you want your account reviewed as well, tune into streams, tune in to the Discord, because we do these quite often. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these, guys. We're gonna just dive straight into it. But all right, if we go ahead and give a good little look-see into of the Discord here, I'm inside of the account review section here, and the account that we're going to be looking at is the man Gojosensei's account here. And the main reason I chose this one here is because he did look like he needed some help here, and it was genuinely one of the times that I actually needed to actually help out someone who already wasn't stable. Now, if you guys have seen the last few account reviews that we've been doing here, a lot of people have been kind of stable, same as on the stream. A lot of people have been really stable, and I've been meaning to actually, you know, show some of you guys who really need that help a little bit more love as well. So Gojosensei ended up needing some help as well, and he ended up putting 5 questions at the very bottom right here, going over what he wants answered. So we're gonna go ahead and do so. Now, as usual, if you guys check out the announcements here, we go ahead and look at this here. I end up putting this immediately. So the main things that we're going to be going for is account box, of course, units you want Gearset info on, total team CC, gear inventory, skill page, and material pages here, or materials in general here. So with that being stated, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a look-see here. So go ahead and go to the account review section. Boom. And go back here. We can go ahead and look at the first thing here. So for his box, he's looking pretty decent here. We see a 3-star Julius. If you did have the dupes to do so, get that man to 5-star, but everything's looking pretty decent. See a 2-star Charmy, we got Mars, we got the basic people, which is like, of course, our man Lotus, Mars, Radies, as well as he has all 3 of the Academy units here, which is kind of interesting. Now, he did go for the 2-star on Noel, which is kind of interesting there. I would definitely suggest it just to stay either 0-star or go 5-star. But that's personally just my own opinion there. Of course, he got the free unit of Asta Licked as well, which is a very nice green to get. I see an SR unit that I really do like, which is Gifso, that he has down there as well. Looks like he's slowly getting those guys up. And then, of course, Charlotte still at 22 for SSR. Now, alongside this, he does have a few other pictures here, which is just his SRs and Rs here, which is looking pretty decent as well. Now, the man over there is sitting on 12k gems, and I'm like, oh my gosh, let me get some of that real quick. But he's sitting on 12k gems, looking like he's saving pretty nicely, and everything's going pretty well. Now, so that was just the first thing going over his box here. He can make a few good little teams out of this, of course. He has his mono blue team, which could be possibly Julius, Lotus, Charmy, and Mars. Of course, at this point in time, having something that's even more DPS worthy is even better. To even do so, if you wanted to just do a different mono blue team, he could, in which that is absolutely amazing to do so. He also has a nice line of reds here, and I do see that he has Fenrir and Voltos kind of upped as well. All we really need to do for those two is just try and get them to up in the star spectrum. So other than that, he's doing pretty dang decent when it does come down to his account. So all right, so going over the first thing that we were going to look at inside of here is mainly going to be the units he wanted Gearset info on. Now, he wasn't really too specific on the Gearset info here. He didn't really have too much to go over, but he did give us a few pictures that was actually his gear sets immediately. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is the Julius Nova Chrono here, and this one is pretty fairly interesting here. I can tell that he's still farming some more gear, but he's slowly getting on the right track. We can tell that he's going for at least the speed set, the attack set, and then some other set that is possibly going to be on the top. Now, if it was up to me, I would definitely go ahead and say get the crit rate set, seeing that his crit rate is kind of low here. Getting that crit rate set is also nice. I personally use the crit damage set, and that's because my crit rate is pretty dang high. But if with his crit rate staying a little bit lower here, he definitely is going to need the crit rate set, and that should probably help him out a lot. Now, alongside of that, of course, working on accessories is going to be a really good thing for him to do. Seeing I only see one UR piece accessory up here. Working on those accessories are going to be really, really nice to get up here. And of course, min-maxing as much magic attack as possible. Because I can tell that you do have some attack pieces on here, or attack stats, because it says 2,600 extra attack there, which isn't what we really want to have. We want to make sure we're getting as much attack, at least magic attack, as possible. So be sure to optimize that as much as possible when you very well can. But so far, you're on the right track when it does come down to your Julius, and I can definitely see it being something way better if you get the right pieces in the future. All right, so coming into the Mars here, yes, another person running all defense pretty much, in which I fully do support here for the most part. You can either do 3 set as usual, which is going to most likely be defense, HP, and speed, or either defense, HP, and attack. It's honestly up to you which one you want. I think defense, HP, and speed is the better 3 set, but he's actually rooting the full defense set like I usually do here, coming out with some decent stuff here. Defense needs a little bit more, but I understand why it's a little bit low, because he's actually using 2 sets, in which is defense slash attack here. So it's kind of interesting to see that he's doing something like this. It definitely isn't a bad way to go about it. But if you wanted to use set effects in general, I would just go ahead and say use the 222 set, seeing that would definitely be way better for Mars in that at least example here. But so far looking pretty darn good here. His attack is pretty high, so seeing that you do want him to deal a little bit of damage with your build currently, try to at least get that nice old 222 set, in which what you can do, you can use a defense long piece, kind of like how you have those defense long pieces on right now. But in the middle, or on the very far left or right, the 3 little squares all need to be attack squares. So then you're at least doing some attack while having that extra defense on you as well. I think that would be more of a better thing for you to do, especially if you're trying to use a little bit of attack on your Mars as well. All right, so we're going ahead and looking at the next character, which is going to be Charlotte, Blue Charlotte here. Now for Blue Charlotte, this is kind of interesting, right? So the 4 set is something you can very well go ahead and do for the speed. He doesn't have enhanced speed just yet, which is perfectly fine, but he has the right mindset here, which is 4 speed, 2 defense. That's technically the one I like to use the most here, but already knowing that she's stupid fast in general, I would definitely suggest, if you wanted to, this is not something you have to do, is try to use actually a 222 set. And the main reasoning for here is because you want to stack up as much survivability this character can get to. So what you can end up doing is a 2-piece speed, a 2-piece defense, and probably a 2-piece HP on her. And make sure all of those pieces are going to be a mixture of attack and defense here. That way she can actually tank a couple hits while also giving you that nice set effect for extra CC. I think that would be a very good choice on your part instead of using the 4 set 2 set. But that also comes down to seeing if you really like to just speed up a lot more, or do you like to have a decent bit of speed while also being able to survive. But I definitely would say go with the 222 set. So far you're on the right track though. This is not a wrong set whatsoever, so do not take that in the wrong way at all. All right, so going ahead and looking at the next set, which is going to be Noel here. I can see he's building his Noel to be a little bit tanky as well, which is perfectly fine here. The only thing I don't like is I am seeing some attack set right there, which is 10% or 10k attack and 16k magic attack with a 6k percentage of or 6k flat of attack as well. And I don't really think that's a good thing to use on your Noel for the most part. Maybe you're just doing it just to get that set effect, but try your hardest not to divvy out the magic attack and attack that way, because unlike how Raya is splitting with both of them and it's the same percentages, Noel doesn't split that percentage, so it really does not see her any benefit of actually using that said attack here. It's better just to go with as much magic attack as possible, with some defense stats, seeing that you are doing some defense as well here, so that's pretty not that bad. So just try your hardest to kind of switch it up a little bit with that into play. Now I am noticing that you're not using the attack set, you're using lifesteal. Lifesteal probably is what you got right now for her, but I definitely do suggest in the future try to swap that up with just attack, use attack speed, and maybe you could use lifesteal as well. Attack speed lifesteal, or attack speed defense, or attack speed and crit damage or crit rate. Those are pretty much good sets. I use attack speed and crit damage. Definitely comes in handy when you're trying to nuke characters quite a lot. And I've recently actually changed some of my pieces to defense pieces as well, so my Noelle can live. So I do suggest keep your defense pieces there. You are dealing, or at least doing, the right thing in that type of perspective here. But I do suggest try to get that attack speed, maybe crit damage gear set or crit rate gear set, depending on what you're lacking. Seeing your crit rate is at 15% currently, definitely try to get that crit rate set just in case, because she still does hit pretty dang hard with low dupes, so surely do keep that in mind. All right, so going into the next one here, which we do have, which is Radies. I don't know what's happening here. Only thing I can tell you, definitely work on accessories for this one. The set that you want to go for is attack, defense, and HP. For at least Radies here, try your hardest to use the 222 set for this character and pair it with a little bit of magic attack / defense, and that will help you out with his overall barrier. Definitely a lot of magic attack though, because that is what really contributes to his barrier. Checking out another set for at least Charmy here. This is going to be one that you want to use only sideways pieces for. Of course, you can use all sideways pieces going down or up and down here in the horizontal motion. Just only do it that way and do a 222 set. Do just no set at all. Or either you can do a 222 set, of course, in which is going to be the HP, defense, and speed set, where you will have 4 horizontal pieces on the bottom and then 3 aligned along the top, or either 2 bottom, 2 top, and then 3 small squares in the middle. Definitely try to do that. I think I already see you're trying to do something of that nature. Seeing how your at least formation of squares and rectangles kind of are here, definitely try to get that made, because that will make Charmy absolutely amazing to heal even at 2 stars. So surely do know that. All right, so coming down to at least our last 2, we got Lotus, which needs a little bit of work here. I would definitely say 4-piece speed is probably the best thing to do if you're going to be using them in PvP. But if you're going to be using them inside of PvE, I would try to make them as a actual attacker, and so go with attack, defense, and speed here, or attack, crit rate, speed, something of that nature. But all right, so we went through a lot of these guys. I didn't expect there to be this many of these guys, so let's keep on moving here for a second. So the next thing that we ended up asking for was actually going to go ahead and be the overall CC of this character, or of his team in general. And if we go ahead and take a look at his attack team and defense team here, it's pretty decent. That is 193 I see as his highest here, with 187 being his defense team. He has a really nice defense team, to be honest. That actually, if he had at least Charlotte, a little bit more duped would be very, very much so scary here. It's a really good team that helps him out with at least countering, having that extra stun, while also having some heals and some actual OP damage here. So I would definitely say that's really, really nice to use here. And then of course we have on his attack team being a decent team as well, utilizing both Julius and Noelle, having that shield, the stuns, buffs in general for counterattacks, and then of course a nice DPSer. I would say that's really, really good. All right, so now immediately taking a look at his 5 questions here. Oh wait, not 5 questions, sorry. At least at his materials here. So if we go back and at least our announcements immediately, we're looking at gear inventory, skill page, and then of course material items here. These guys are going to be just something I'm just going to be taking a quick look at for the most part, in which for his SSR pages, he has some very nice things in here. I see a Charlotte card, which is one of the few cards I'm still freaking missing, but has a decent bit of cards that's looking pretty decent. The Noelle card is just like mine, even though I did not want it as much. The 1-star does come in clutch a little bit, with 3 dupes on the Wizard King card as well, which is really nice. Looking at his SR cards here, he does got a decent bit of those guys, so surely do get some of those cards up, such as Solid, Nevera's card, and then the one above them. I keep forgetting his name. He's above to the far right, the debuffer one. He's actually really good to get up, as well as that Charmy card. So I do suggest get that up, as well as the Soul card down here, if you can get those up as well. Okay, so looking at immediately his gear that he's farmed up here, I'm seeing at least let's see, 4 whole rows. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8 whole rows of LR, pretty much almost 9. Pretty dang decent for the most part, with a decent bit of UR pieces as well. Definitely suggest, if you're going to start farming other gear pieces, because I am noticing you have some HP pieces and stuff like that in here, make sure your attack, defense, and speed gears are really good, because those can go for any character, while HP in them, they kind of have their niches of characters. So surely don't rush into getting those gear sets that quickly. All right, so now taking a look into the big boy stuff here, which is the consumables here. I am seeing the Mafia Radies costume. I'm seeing a couple of these chests here, so I don't know what those are. They might be actually the stone chests from either the actual tower, or either they might be stone chests that are bought. I'm unsure, at least in this actual way. He didn't give me any information regarding that, but looking pretty dang decent on at least the inventory so far. He does have some upgrades here that are looking nice, including those level 3 materials, in which I really would kill for right now. But so far looking pretty decent overall. And I do see some little stones here, so either he got them from his guild here, or either he does spend a little bit. So who knows? Man's account is looking pretty dang decent, and I gotta say, I like what I'm seeing here. Now we're gonna get to the questions. One of the first questions that he ended up asking is, how can I maximize my total CC? Well, the main ways you're going to be able to maximize that CC is, of course, going to be getting up your gears fully. Getting up your gears up to LR is going to be the best way possible to maximize your CC, but then after that comes in enchanting them by getting up those basic percentages and stuff like that, up in stats by enchanting, and then of course getting yourself some accessories. Those are going to really help you out when it comes down to maxing, without, of course, duping your characters. Of course, that's an obvious one there, but pretty much just enchanting your gears, getting those percentages up, optimizing your gears, getting those up, of course, and then just making sure you have LR gears. This will help you out so much. And then for characters such as who are main magic attackers, let's say you have a magic attack substat, that will actually boost your CC quite a lot, especially if you're giving them things that really contribute to their overall flat HP, defense percentage, or either magic attack. Those will really skyrocket your CC if you really want to actually maximize your CC like that. That would be your main way to do so. Now, tips on good gear sets. Now, all gear sets can be good in their own ways. Crit resistance, totally not. But yeah, there are some good gear sets in there. There are some bad ones, but for the most part, the good gear sets, in order to actually have these guys, is just going to be your regular old attack, HP, defense, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Those sets are all really, really good. Now, of course, you do have your wild cards, such as of course, Pierce, or Pierce gear that can come in handy at times, Lifesteal that can come in handy at times. But those are kind of those niche ones that you don't really need too often. Now, of course, if you do want to make those gear sets and have them really good, of course, make sure that you're getting them as much as possible, getting them in a very nice way, pretty much of just making sure you have food on while doing gear all the time. Get the highest gear food that you can possibly get, and then just go ahead and go on a grinding spree. That will help you get a lot more of these good gear sets. And then you just kind of gotta pray on getting good substats, or either just reroll them, seeing that you do have some at least reroll stones. Those would be your best bet if you really want to make some really good gear sets. Now, how to make an optimal working team. Now, an optimal working team can go in different ways, of course. Here, now, let's take your PvP team for example. You actually have a decent team that's going on, especially with that defense team. That's really, really nice. The only way to really make it ultra optimal, just to be honest here, is going to be with a little bit of gear. And then with your usage of using Charlotte, yes, you can use her at lower dupes, though it's going to be a little bit harder, because lower dupe Charlotte, she does work very, very often, and she is very nice to utilize here. But the main reason that she can be a little bit of a party pooper at times is because she isn't as fast as most characters. So if you had maybe a lot more of her dupes, it would be very, very nice. Or like, let's say if you use your world dupes on William, that would really help optimize your working team for the most part and pretty much glue it together, because then you're able to at least have your speedster come up immediately, get off whatever you need done, which would most likely be your chain attack with Mars here. At that point, you then let everyone else just go, which is most likely going to be Julius. Use your ult, use your skill 2, boom, you're knocking out stuff absolutely amazingly. Now, of course, if you want to make an optimal working team for PvE, of course, and taking out bossing and things like that, make sure that you build a really good buffer to really help out that at least nice DPSer. And then try to build up a sub DPS with yourself here to at least make sure if my DPSer doesn't get the job done, my sub DPSer can probably help a little bit to get that extra amount. And then, of course, always have a backup plan, which is going to be like a healer or a defender. Those two are really going to be very necessary, especially inside of PvE, and I think that will help you out quite a lot. And then they say, what should I be focusing on grinding? Well, things that you should be focusing on grinding currently, from what I'm seeing immediately, is your gear. It's the only thing that you're really lacking here. Your count overall is looking pretty decent. Like, you already have the built up characters. You got characters that you really need built no matter what here. There's no need to build really any SRs currently from the looks of it here. I mean, maybe Nebra, because Nebra is useful quite often, as well as Teresa if you're going to be doing Hall of Illusions. Other than that, you don't really have to build anyone. You can just really focus on gear quite often. Now, of course, if you did want to try to rush get some dupes on one of your characters, of course, you could work on patrol stages in order to max out one of your SSRs, or at least your basic SSRs, which could be Lotus, Mars, Rades. You can max one of them guys out. It's totally up to you. Though you don't really got to do that right now. I definitely would suggest gear would be your main priority, seeing there are some things that you do need to get done. All right, and then they said any other recommendations. All right, so one of the things I do have to recommend for you is, I don't know how your talent wheels are looking. Try to get those talent wheels done and upped, because I feel like that will help you out quite a lot. Accessory working on is definitely going to help you out a lot when it comes to recommending things for you. And then, of course, the last thing I really want to touch on when it does come down to your account is I'm trying to say this in a way that's actually, because my mind works a little bit different. I'm trying to think of how to explain it for the most part. When it comes to at least min-maxing your whole team here, try to focus on specifics for at least your team, like specifics for your actual units, right? So, for example, HP is what you need on Charmy, sure, but you don't need magic attack and things like that. So what you want to go ahead and do, make sure they don't kill that healer. Stack her with damage resistance, stack her with HP percentage, defense percentage, things like that. Try to focus your units to actually make them be a lot more optimal than you really need them to be, and just make it so that you can kind of stick with it even if meta's changing and like PvE is getting harder. You're starting to be able to stick with a certain team that will help you out quite a lot when it does come down to pretty much just making your account better and just pretty much rolling with the punches if you are a little bit of a free-to-play or a light spender. Definitely would suggest doing that for the most part. As well, another recommendation, get that red Charlotte up, because she's absolutely amazing for PvE content. She's definitely going to be very, very helpful too as well. Even in the future, PvE content, she still is very well used. So Red Charlotte is probably my only other recommendation with this. But overall, absolutely amazing account. If you guys also want your account reviewed or want a chance at it, be sure to jump into the Discord. The description will have the link as well, so surely do check that out. But it was nice reviewing Gojosensei's account here. So thank you for letting me review your account, my man. And hopefully this was very, interesting for you, as well as being able to help you out a lot. But till next time, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button with your forehead and consider subscribing if you are new. I do daily Black Clover mobile content. But till later, everybody, peace out.